I know that a lot of Republicans, their dream is to cut Social Security and Medicare. Well, let me say this. If that's your dream, I'm your nightmare.
When I argued that we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well.
In his State of the Union address, President Biden accused some, but not all, Republicans of wanting to cut Social Security and Medicare.
Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority. Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office. I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy of the proposal. That means Congress doesn't vote. Well, I'm glad to see you. No, I tell you, I enjoy conversion. You know, it means if Congress doesn't keep the programs the way they are, they'd go away. Other Republicans say, I'm not saying it's a majority of you. I don't even think it's even a significant, but it's being proposed by individuals. I'm not politely not naming them, but it's being proposed by some of you. Look, folks, the idea is that we're not going to be moved into being threatened to default on the debt if we don't respond. Folks,
do you know that Social Security is going to be insolvent in 2035?
It is not going to be. That is not true. That is actually not true. No, it's actually not true.
It's actually not true.
It's actually not, but it's actually not true.
The financial community.
That's actually not true. That's actually not true.
Will go insolvent.
That's actually not.
Senator Rick Scott was interviewed on CNN about whether he does actually want to cut Social Security and Medicare.
I think my first question has to be, given the fact that the president is now using this as an attack line, was it a mistake to propose this?
No. First off, nobody believes that I want to cut Medicare or Social Security. I've never said it. I've never said it. In that same plan, I said Congress needs to once a year tell the American public how they're going to make sure those programs don't go bankrupt, because they're in the verge of bankrupts. And here's the difference between Joe Biden and me. I've never proposed it. In 1975, he has a bill, a sunset bill, and it says it requires every program to be looked at freshly at least every 4 years, not just cost, but worthiness. And, Caitlin, he said, when I argued that we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well. I meant Medicare, Medicaid, veterans benefits. I meant every single solitary thing in government. So here's the difference. I've never proposed it.
We should tell the American people. I look at the polls out there. For example, I want to go on record. I'm up for re-election this year, and I'm going to remind everybody what I did at home, which is going to cost me politically. When I argued that we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well.
Biden Jr. actually introduced a bill that would do what he's now arguing against. Senate Bill 2067, a bill to limit the period of authorization of new budget authority and to require comprehensive review and study of existing programs for which continued budget authority is proposed to be authorized by the committees of the Congress.
I meant Medicare and Medicaid. I meant veterans benefits. I meant every single solitary thing in the government. And I not only tried it once, I tried it twice, I tried it a third time, and I tried it a fourth time. Somebody has to tell me in here how we're going to do this hard work without dealing with any of those sacred cows, some deserving more protection than others. I'm not quite sure how you get from here to there.
Biden is also being incredibly dishonest. First, Mike Lee's quote requires additional context.
We have to hold harmless those who are current beneficiaries. Those who have retired and are currently receiving those benefits, their benefits have to be left untouched, unchanged, unfazed. The next layer beneath them, those who will retire within the next few years, probably also have to be held harmless.
And he went on to say that there are people paying into that who won't see a dime because in its current form, Social Security is unsustainable.
At some point on the other end of the spectrum, people born after a certain date, perhaps born after 1970, as I was, probably need to be told, look, you're never going to get a dime. You know, you're going to have to continue paying this tax into the system so that we can continue to afford it for those to whom we've committed irrevocably to do it. but you're never going to get a dime.
The third concern about this balanced budget amendment is that the way it relates this amendment, it relates to the way this amendment treats a program that is arguably the most important and most dependent upon program in the federal government. I'm talking about Social Security, Mr. President. As we all know, the Social Security Trust Fund is designed to spread costs over many years of caring for working people after they retire. We pay in today so that 10 or 20 or 40 or 50 years from now, we can live out our lives knowing that we have that minimum Social Security payment. The Social Security Fund is not supposed to be in balance every year or even every 10 years. It is meant to be balanced over the decades.
Senator Scott's not the only one. Senator Johnson of Wisconsin, his own party plan. He laid out Social Security should be in the chopping block every year. But look, in his case, as I said, he wants to do it every single year. Let's remember what this is all about. Some of you are on Social Security, or your parents or grandparents are. You earned it. You earned every single penny. You paid into every paycheck you ever got. From the time you were a teenager, you had money taken out for these programs. There are more than government programs. They're a promise we made. Work hard and contribute, and when the time's come for you to retire, you'll be there. We'll be there for you to help you out. It's been a sacred trust, a rock-solid guarantee. Generations of Americans have counted on it, and it works. The number of seniors living in poverty has plummeted since Social Security was created. And now these guys want to cut it. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't know who they think they are. We saw on Tuesday night Republicans don't like me being called out on this. They're not very happy with me pointing this out. But their words speak. Look, I know that a lot of Republicans, their dream is to cut Social Security and Medicare. Well, let me say this. If that's your dream, I'm your nightmare.
Seriously, I cannot understand a single word you're saying.